Today, we're diving into an industry that is absolutely critical to our way of life, one that literally keeps the world fed and our food supply safe. But, and you knew there was a but, there's a hidden consequence to how it all works, a dark side that's creating what might be one of the single biggest health threats of our century. So first, let's just get a sense of the scale here. The animal health industry, it's not just about taking your puppy to the vet. It is a massive global pillar that props up our food systems, our economies, and even our own personal health. Honestly, our world would look completely different without it.
Just how massive are we talking? Well, back in 2022, the global market for animal health was valued at almost $45 billion. A number that big tells you just how deeply woven this industry is into, well, everything.
And why is it so incredibly valuable? Well, it makes sure our food is safe to eat. It keeps rural economies humming. But this last point is the big one. It protects us. Get this, 75% of new infectious human diseases actually start in animals. So this industry, it's one of our most important lines of defense.
Okay, so for all the good it does, this essential industry comes with a pretty significant and often invisible cost to our planet. And this is where the whole story starts to get really complicated.
This slide really lays out the central tension, right? On one side, you have all these incredible benefits, safe food, disease control. But for every single one, there's a cost on the other side. We're talking chemical waste, huge amounts of energy, greenhouse gases, and pollution from the very drugs that are meant to help. It is the classic double-edged sword.
Let's drill down a bit on that footprint, because while a lot of things play a role, one factor just towers above the rest: energy. When you look at the research, energy use alone can account for up to 85% of the industry's entire carbon footprint. It is, by a huge margin, the biggest piece of the puzzle.
But the single most dangerous part of this whole footprint isn't the CO2 or the chemical waste. No, it's something you can't see, you can't smell, you can't touch. And it's a threat that is quietly growing right under our noses. We are talking about antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. Now, put simply, this is when germs, bacteria and fungi, they basically level up. They evolve so fast that they learn how to beat the very medicines we designed to kill them. This turns what should be a simple treatable infection into a potential death sentence. We call them superbugs.
And if you're thinking this all sounds like some distant sci-fi movie plot, think again. This quote from a report by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is just a chilling wake-up call. The post-antibiotic era? It's not coming, it's already here. And the scale of this crisis, it is just staggering. If we can't get AMR under control, the projections show that superbugs could be responsible for 10 million deaths every single year by 2050. I mean, that's more than cancer and car crashes combined.
So, to really understand how this is happening, let's go from these huge global numbers down to the ground level. We're going to head to the front lines of this fight by taking a look at the poultry industry in Bangladesh. The numbers coming out of this region are just stark. Look at this. Common bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, found in chickens, are now almost completely resistant to the antibiotics we've relied on for decades, like ampicillin and tetracycline. When you see resistance rates hitting 90, even 100%, it means these crucial medicines have become practically useless there. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a problem for the chickens. These same super-resistant bacteria can and do spread to people through the environment, through the food we eat. The superbugs that are born on the farm definitely don't stay on the farm.
So how does this even happen? Well, research in the area points to a few key practices. For one, antibiotics are often used like vitamins, given to perfectly healthy animals just to prevent sickness. Farmers also might not finish the full course of medicine, which just allows the strongest, toughest bacteria to survive. And a lot of the time, the advice they're getting isn't from trained vets, but from the people who sell them the drugs.
Which, of course, begs the question, if these practices are so obviously risky, why on earth are they so common? Well, the answer is a complicated mix of economics, education, and just plain old human incentives.
So let me ask you this. Imagine you're a farmer or a vet. You need to choose a medicine for your animals. What do you think is your #1 priority? Is it the environmental impact, how easy it is to use, or something else entirely?
Well, the data is just crystal clear. A survey of the people making these choices shows that efficacy, meaning does this stuff actually work, and cost, can I afford it, are overwhelmingly what matters. Together, that's 85% of the decision. And environmental impact, it's way down there, that tiny little sliver, just 2%.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole problem. For the people who have to make these decisions every single day, on farms all over the world, sustainability is frankly a luxury. If a product isn't effective and it isn't affordable, its impact on the planet just doesn't even enter the equation.
So let's pull all these threads together, because at the end of the day, this isn't just a problem for the animal health industry or for farmers in faraway places. It is a trade-off that involves every single one of us.
You can see it like a chain reaction, really. It starts with us, our high demand for affordable meat and dairy. That demand leads to intensive farming, which relies on overusing antibiotics to be efficient. That, in turn, fuels the rise of these drug-resistant superbugs. And the final domino? Those superbugs are now threatening the very foundations of modern human medicine.
Which leaves us all with a final and pretty difficult question to chew on. Our entire modern food system is built on these medicines. But in using them the way we do, we are actively dismantling our ability to fight infections tomorrow. So, can our future health survive the current price of our food,